hit up Grand Strand is in Charlotte, North Carolina at River's Edge Golf Club. Today, PGA head golf professional Jeff Pianelli is going to feature a great lesson about how to hit those distance wedges. And as you can see,
it happens to the best of us.
Even the pros struggle with this shot.
Guys, thanks again for joining us here at River's Edge Golf Club. I wanted to give you a tip today that's more based on when things don't go perfect. If we can, we'd like to hit a nice drive, hit a nice iron, go up and putt, maybe make a birdie, worst case walk away with a par. When those things don't happen, we need to have a backup plan. I know most of us are faced with a shot similar to the one we have today, is about 60 yards from where we are now, and we traditionally be hitting our third shot to a par 4. So our goal here, above anything else, we need to hit the green, okay? We'll watch these guys on TV and they all make it look so easy. They hit it to 2 or 3 feet, but that's why they get paid to do what they do. What we're going to try to do, or what I'm going to try to do, is to give you a couple of just small tips. They're easy to remember to help you make better contact to get that ball on the putting surface. The more you go over these tips, you're going to be able to kind of fine tune it on your distances, and then you'll be able to really start making some up and downs to save your round. So the first thing we're going to do is pick the club of choice. So you got to go through your bag, find your shortest club that you hit. So say you have a 60-degree wedge or a sand wedge. It's traditionally about 56 degrees. And you hit that, we'll say 80 yards. Now we need to take 20 yards off of our lowest club. In a perfect world, we'd have 28 clubs and we just swing away and everything would be perfect. We don't. So what we can do is we're going to give you 2 different tips here today. We can either go with a standard approach, which would just be to choke down on the club itself. And you want to, when you do choke down, you don't chintz it. You want to go ahead and get down there. Get your hands down closer to the metal so you know you've choked up. Anyone that played baseball or softball before knows if you've got 2 strikes, you need to make contact, you choke up on the bat. Okay, it gives you a little more control over the club. Does make the club a little shorter, but it allows you to have a little more control coming into that shot. Now with the change in the length, you're going to hit it a little shorter. So if your standard shot is 80 yards and you want to take 20 yards off of it, this is a safe bet, okay? And that's very simple. We're going to go in with our normal setup. So what we're going to do is choke down here. We're just going to take our regular swing. And there should be about a 20-yard difference. You got to practice with it a little bit and see what works for you. For the other change, if I could have my caddy toss me a golf ball, or you can bring it on out, buddy. This is my caddy, Eli. Eli, give him a wave. There you go, my man. So our other tip here would be to actually change the tempo, okay, of our swing. We're going to shorten our swing. You'll hear that a lot on broadcasts, and different folks will talk about they had to take a nice distance wedge. When they say that, that's where they're trying to control the distance on the golf ball, okay? Now, there's 2 keys here. 3 keys. 1 is ball position. 2 is the way we actually hold the golf club itself. And then 3 is the swing through the ball, okay? We always want to think through the ball, not to the ball. If you can treat that golf ball like the finish line of a race, okay? You don't stop at the finish line. You've got to run through the finish line to be at your fastest speed. And that's what our goal is. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in there, okay? And if you notice, if you can see it through the shadow there, that club is on the sole of the club, okay? And the handle is just to the left of where that club head is. So every golf club comes with a semi or all flat sole on the club. So if you press that club flat on the ground, you can see here the handle's to the left of the club head. The idea is that we're always going to be pulling the handle through the golf ball. That's because it has loft on it, okay? So if this were the club head and this were the shaft, we'd bend the club head and the shaft would bend the other direction. So you can see I have a little bit of a V there, okay? That V gets smaller as the clubs get less lofted, okay? So your driver would be about right here, which is another tip for your full swing. You always want to have your hands just a touch in front of that golf ball. So now we've got our grip on the club the right way, or our hands on the club the right way. The next thing we want to go over is spacing. When people say you want to put the ball on the back of your stance, the back of your stance is actually where your buttons are in your shirt, okay? It's right on your sternum. You want to think, because my 2 hands are on the club, my shoulders are actually tilted slightly this direction. So my right, as a right-hander, my right shoulder is lower. As a lefty, it'd be the opposite. Your left hand will be lower. What that does is it moves the center of the swing slightly left. So when we say back of the stance, we mean the buttons. You don't want to put the ball back on your right foot. It just makes for a mess, okay? So now we've got that set up. Our in-swing thought is we want to feel almost like your tricep area here just kind of touches the right side of your body. And what we're doing there is we're trying to incorporate a body swing. In other videos you may have seen, I know myself talk about it, where when we swing, we want to swing the whole body. And that's really the goal. In the golf swing, the less we do with our hands, the easier it is for us to redo coming back to the golf ball. So when we get in here, we're going to take our setup. I've got my hands slightly in front, and I'm just going to focus on my right arm staying close to my side. And what that does is allow me to just simply turn, keep my eyes on the ball, turn back through. We're always trying to turn through the ball. If I could grab my caddy to toss me another golf ball. Thank you, sir. So now, when we go to practice, if we can think of these things, the pre-swings, where my hands are in front, okay, and that club is flat on the sole there, okay, that's going to allow us to work through the whole golf bag. We can take this same tip and use it for every swing we have. If you can keep your right side close to your body, then you just think about turn your body. You'll have more power, you have more consistency without thinking too much. We want to keep your mind clear. Having 6 things to go over on a checklist is not good. You want to do that out on the driving range. Do it on the golf course, you might give yourself a headache. So now we're going to work the last part of our swing to talk about speed through the ball. As in, we're coming down here, how fast do I want to go through? That's a personal preference. You want to go as fast as you can without losing your balance, okay? Some folks just naturally walk fast, they talk fast, they play fast. Their swing is most likely going to be a little faster than the next guy. You think of Nick Price, super fast, and you think of Ernie Els, looks like he barely moved. Both of them can pound a golf ball, they can both hit wedges, and they can both chip, okay? So now when we get into the distance we're going to hit this ball, say instead of 60 yards, now I need to hit it 40 yards. That's the one where we stand there like this. Oh God, I hope I take a range ball, and if I hit it in the water, that way I don't lose a good one, okay? We want to eliminate that feeling. Obviously, we want to act as if that water's not there. Focus on your target, not the stuff in your way. Just like anything else we do, if you focus on the goal, it's much easier to avoid the distractions, okay? So now we're going to come a little slower, which means I'm just going to turn my body a little slower through the ball. Right hand connected. And that ball is another 15 yards shorter than the first one. So what we can do now is control our speed through the ball. When we do that, we add consistency and we add distance control, which will turn around, add confidence to your swing, speed your round up, and make you feel a little better because you may break that magical number you're looking for. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you at the driving range at River's Edge.
Go to playriversedgegolf.com for more information about lessons and private instruction. And don't forget to book your tee time. As always, Tee It Up Grand Strand is produced by Zeus Digital Marketing for thegolfdirector.com.